Hello everyone! The most advanced Boolean plugin for Houdini is just released. It's called Soft Boolean 2025. You can buy it on Gumroad. You can find the link in the description below, or by searching Soft Boolean 2025 for Houdini on the Gumroad website. The standard license costs $40. You can purchase it here. I already did it. So next you are going to get a link on your email. I recommend you to start to learn how to download those plugins by Alexey Vanzula from your email, because here you are going to get a link for next updates and discounts. Here you can see that I already received an update link because I have a previous version, and this is how it's going to look for you when you're going to get next updates. And for previous users it costs half of the price. Let's download and install it again together. Open email, view content, press download, save it somewhere on your PC, extract it all, and here you have two folders. It's pretty easy to install. Just copy those two folders to your Houdini preference folder. It's in Documents, Houdini 20, and just copy it here. I've already installed it, so let's replace all files. And now you can see that here you have Soft Boolean folder, which is main folder which contains all plugin related data. And packages, in the packages folder you have Soft Boolean JSON, which is going to tell Houdini to load it on the next startup. The main indicator that the plugin is installed properly is that you're going to have in your row in the shelf list called Soft Booleans. Let's find it. Here it is. And that's it. We've just installed Soft Boolean 2025 for Houdini. Next we are going to look on all of those shelf buttons and main settings and discuss how to use the plugin. The main purpose of Soft Boolean plugin is to allow us to have soft transition while boolean one or two objects together, and also simplify working with booleans in Houdini in general. Let's create a box by pressing box icon on the Soft Boolean shelf tab. It created the box for us. It's default Houdini box, but with axis divisions modified. You can press Shift W to see wireframe. Now let's create a sphere. You can use middle mouse and move mouse along one of the axes to move it quickly. And now, as you can see, there are two objects inside one container. First object is a box, and second object is our sphere. That's not normal sphere, because in Houdini by default sphere made of triangles, and this is a quad sphere. Quad sphere has a better topology, and it's nice to have it here because it's better suited for subdivision and working with subdivision workflow. Let's scale it down by pressing E on keyboard. Enable moving tool by pressing T. Move it with middle mouse. Box has template flag and sphere has render flag. And now we can press Union button, and you can see that Soft Boolean node was created. The Soft Boolean node is main operational node of the plugin. At the first parameter row you can see 4 Boolean types. First type is union, second type is intersection, third is subtraction, and fourth is paneling. Let's turn union Boolean mode back And let's look how Boolean transition is looking. As you can see, transition isn't looking very nice. That's why we need to learn how to adjust those parameters. First, we can check that the Boolean in general works well by pressing simple node toggle, or just by pressing simplify all button, which is the same as pressing the toggle, but it works for all soft Boolean nodes at the same time. As you can see, the Boolean works well, but something isn't looks good with beveling. Let's turn beveling back and look how the soft Boolean produces the Boolean. We can enable path curve guide, which shows us the guide which is used for creating sweep, and this sweep is going to be cut between our two objects, and this cut is going to produce this soft bevel. If we enable front view by pressing space 4 on the keyboard, you can see that radius of path curve is less than radius of our sphere. That is happening because of this relax size parameter. You can reduce it down to 0, or you can subdivide your sphere a few times, and this sphere going to get smoothed down to the size of the curve. Let's turn back perspective view by pressing space 1. And now, as you can see, it's very smooth. Let's look what those parameters allow us to do. First parameter is radius of beveling. Press Shift plus W to enable smooth shaded view, and you can see that even with such a large radius, Soft Boolean produces very smooth transition. We can turn it even higher. And what I like in the Soft Boolean is that the topology is completely solid. I can double click on it, and this is a solid object. Next, we can adjust the amount of division, Boolean divisions, and make the Boolean flat as a chamfer. Also, we can adjust normals. Now they are all smooth, but we can adjust those normals on the seam to be flat by pressing the flat normals toggle. Let's look on it in shaded look mode. Next, we can adjust seam strip width, and reduce amount of geometry in it. The next step is path curve is made for adjusting this path curve guide. We can resample it, relax, and also relax distribution, which I can't show you right now because our curve is completely smooth. It's suited for sharp angled curves. This toggle simplifies amount of geometry along seams. And the last step corresponds to normals of source geometry, which is our cube, and cutter geometry, which is our sphere. And we also can generate bevel group. You can see the group by pressing this button, and it's here, Soft Boolean bevel. Let's delete it, for example. Actually, I don't want it, so let's return it back. I'd like to decrease amount of beveling, so let's go back and reduce radius. Also, I'd like to move the original sphere higher. And I'm going to add tube to it. We've just added default Houdini's tube, but it doesn't have caps on it. So you can click Fill, to add caps, and also we're going to click Sharpen. The Sharpen tool adding a bevel of crease type with 2 divisions, which is helpful if we need to force geometry's sharp corners to be sharp after subdivision. To demonstrate it, I can press Subdivide. As you can see, this part is sharpened. If I had skipped this part, I'd get very smooth geometry. We can increase amount of divisions to make it even sharper. And again, we have a previous Soft Boolean with template flag on it, and our new cutter, which is a tube. I forgot to place it. Let's place it manually this time again. Let's place it right here. And press Subtract. We've got the issue with the Boolean operation because I have selected tube node and it was used for cutting. Let's go back by pressing Ctrl Z a few times. And then select Subdivide and press Subtract again. Let's move our sphere even further inside. And we have very smooth transition. But it seems that something is went wrong because we don't have enough geometry. So let's subdivide cutter a bit to fix it. Let's press Find Holes button to check that our geometry is consistent. No problems found. Here is the same issue. Let's increase amount of subdivide cutter, subdivision for a cutter, and also I'd like to make it more roundish. I think it's going too far. Maybe we need to decrease relax size to 0. and I forgot to set flatness to 0. I've increased width of seam strip to make transition smoother. There is another way how to place primitive. You can press / on keyboard to activate construction plane and left click on any component with which you like to align construction plane. Left click, and then let's add a pipe. Pipe is like a tube, but it has a hole in the middle. By adjusting properties of parameters of tube, you can adjust inner radius, and by adjusting polyextrude distance, you can decide how thick it is. Let's try intersect. The shape is quite messy, so let's try to fix it. First of all, let's try to subdivide cutter. And it looks good. So in most cases you just need to subdivide a cutter to get proper results. And we didn't look on another two primitives. It's a grid and torus. Let's add a grid. I'm going to press / again, and let's make it parallel to this point. Let's add grid. We are going to push it down a bit. Let's press contour, and now we have a panel outline. And I like how it looks. Let's copy this grid again and push it down even further, and then I'd like to copy with Soft Boolean. I can just copy it like any other node, or I can press repeat to copy with Soft Boolean with all previous settings. Here we have two options. We can select a previous cutter. I think this is a bug, because I guess it should select last cutter, but it selects first cutter. But if I press select Soft Boolean, it selects last Soft Boolean. So I think it must be fixed in next update. Also, we can extract path from second output. For example, I'd like to add kind of rings on top of this panel line, so I'm going to press torus, decrease its size a bit. Then I'd like to copy it on the curve. I can do it either with a chain swap or with copy to curve. Let's try copy to curve. I'm going to press tab, copy, to curve. First, I'm connecting torus to the first input and our curve to second input. We've got quite amount of curves. Let's adjust torus size and the amount of copies. At the moment, distance between copies doesn't look good, so let's resample it right before copying torus on it. Resample. Connect resample between curves and copy to curves. I think that's enough for the start. Let's check how original torus is orientated. We can just orientate itself. Let's select Soft Boolean, but before it, let's try to press merge. Let's increase its size a bit. And in the end, I'm going to connect those toruses to our main shape. I can select merge, then Soft Boolean, and press union. We've got an error, I can't look on it, it isn't fine. I see what causes the issue, because I've connected Soft Boolean directly to our mesh itself. So I had to connect it to copy to points. And as always, if something goes wrong, let's try and subdivide cutter a few times. And again, it looks good. The geometry is nice and clean. To make sure, let's press find holes. No holes is found. It's nice. And there are a few another things that I'd like to show you. And first, let's add another box. I better use construction plane again. Let's place it on top. Box. Decrease its size. Then press subtract. Something goes wrong again. I think the reason is, let's press simplify. That was a mistake, I pressed simplify on the wrong Soft Boolean. Let's press simplify on the last Soft Boolean. It seems something went wrong, but we can try to fix it by shifting these operations up and bring our previous Boolean operations down. We can do it by shifting it up with the icon. And now you can see that subtracting box now is ordered before we are union our torus. We can delete this merge. Disable simplification. And here one another thing that I'd like to show you. Let's create another construction plane here. And I'm going to draw a curve here. Let's press tab, curve, Bezier curve. Press slash again to stop orientating construction plane. And let's draw a simple curve outline. Let's add thickness to it by selecting it, pressing tab, lapse thickness. It seems something went wrong with normals. Let's try to fix normals first. To make lapse thicken nodes work, we need to change the point normal to primitive normal. And I'm going to select extruded in both directions. And let's decrease the amount. And now let's make a contour outline. It looks good by default, but what if your curve has a very sharp angle? I'm going to press F to adjust the curve and press K, press M a few times to align it with construction plane. And move it down a bit. I like that it still looks good, but what I'd like to show you that you dynamically control how thick the bevel is. You can use the fall off option. Choose a place where you'd like to place a fall off controller. It's going to create invisible metaball sphere for you, which you can use to adjust amount of beveling in place. Let's decrease weight. And also, when you're using contour as Boolean method, you can not only carve in booleans, but carve them out like this. And that's it. Let's hide construction plane, enable smooth shaded mode, and look on our final model. There are a few other options that aren't working for me at the moment, like material, panel, and I think that's it. They are just don't do anything for me at the moment, and I'm not sure why. If you, like me, have questions or you found a bug, you can report it in our Discord group called Modeller for Houdini. Here you can find a support, discuss another things related to modeling in Houdini, and I think that's it. That was a quick introduction into Soft Boolean 2025 for Houdini. I hope you enjoy it. Bye.